Greetings, Summoners. Cosmic here, and welcome back to another Battle Spirits Saga video. And today we finally have a unboxing. Yes, a singular unboxing of Set 4 because, hey, it is actually sold out at the distributor level. And if you're in the Facebook group, you might have already seen this, but I've been trying to gather as much information as possible to figure out what happened with this set. Why did it sell out at distributors, and why is it out of print with no reprints happening, right? I know a lot of people are going to freak out and go, oh my god, it's not accessible. But you have to remember, there's still going to be a lot of singles out there. There's still some extra boxes, and at the end of the day, it is a Bandai game, so it is very cheap and quite generous, all things considered, in what you get in a single box. And I am happy to report, as someone who already opened up one box, is that these do feel a lot better to open. So that's all very exciting. But of course, it's obviously been a while. I'm going to get the other 10 boxes out of my case next week because Alliance is a terrible distributor, it turns out. They're just awful for everybody. I won't even drag on to that. I've already said my piece on it, but Alliance, you suck. Thanks for nothing. But other than that, there's been a lot of mixed news, right, about Battle Spirits overall. So, hey, I figured let's at least open it, show off some of the art, and kind of talk about my plans with it and kind of where things are going for the future. Because, yes, it has been a while since I've had anything to cover for the game, so I just haven't had time or haven't had a need to cover anything. But then also stuff like Texas is absolute nonsense at the end of the day. So let's open this up. We're going to kind of just talk as we go through it. And the one thing I got to say is that I actually really do love these box toppers. I think the tokens look quite good themselves. And obviously, as a huge Evangelion fan, it's nice to see the various artwork that we're going to get. And there's a lot of them in the packs themselves. So ignore that. I was trying to open this with my keys, and clearly that was not a good case. But when you open it, you do get a random box topper. Your box topper is going to be one of those promos that we were just talking about. And then, of course, on the back, it is going to have a core card, so that if you want me to just take this out of the packaging, apparently does not want to zoom in. Again, for all the core card enthusiasts out there, it is something that is going to, oh, there we go. Something you're going to want to collect. So these are one per box, which is going to be a little bit rough, but then you can see you can use this card to represent one core. So look forward to that and trying to get more of these. Might be a little bit difficult, but they're pretty good. And then, of course, again, just, there's a mecha token, golem token, and ant token. So there is one of each. One was that? Was it mecha? Yep, there you go. So 3K mecha and, your 10K golem, which, again, great artwork. And there seems to be 6 of the collabs in the box, so we'll see which ones we get, and I actually will reveal what I got in my other box at the end because it was an absolute banger. So again, we're just going to open this up really quick, just the one box, because that's all I could get, and we'll just go through and show off some of the artwork as we're going through it. But again, let's talk about kind of where things are at and where things are going from here, right? So the Texas event, unfortunately, is a one-day event with no top cut. I talked about this on Twitter, and I'm going to say it here on video as well, but for me personally, Battle Spirits is just not something that I am going to support if we do not have top cut events. So, and then we have our foil, and oh, there we go. We do actually have a Eva right to kick things off. Nice, and this is actually the one that goes with the X-Rare, so this will go quite well for those that want to run this. This is like a 4 of if you want to run that deck. So we find ourselves in a weird spot where the events, Battle Spirits is the premier Bandai game, right? It's the premier competitive Bandai game, or at least that's what or how it should be treated. However, we find ourselves in a little bit of a difficult situation that if we don't have a top cut and you're only paying out to top 4, then that really does not give a great incentive for players to go and to check out the events when it's just going to be such a top end prizing. And then it's just like, well, you get nothing then. Sorry about that. If you don't get top 4. And so when you go and you play, depending on how many people come out and what the breakout looks like, but you could effectively go X1 in the tournament and get nothing, effectively nothing, right? Because it is so top end heavy. So I really hope that this is something that they're going to improve upon in the future events. Like, of course, we don't know what's going on. And then on top of that, for the online events, which, by the way, the online events got some really cool prizing. I'm sure they're going to look great. I'm very excited for the cores that they're doing. Bandai listened to feedback. All of that is great, right? However, the online events are best of one. And in a game like Battle Spirits, that puts you in a position where it's like, oh, I am just going to play something like White Aggro. I'm just going to, go burr and try to win that way. So, oh, there's our first SPR of the pack, or the box, I should say. It's going to be a very unhealthy and unrealistic meta that we're going to get for those online events. So that also has its own issues in terms of, are these something that players really want to play? And now, again, I do think, actually, I do have the other one, so we'll give us a quick spoiler here of the side-by-side. you know, is the participation stuff good enough that people will still sign up for it? Or is it going to be like 20 people who are signing up for these events because it is, just best of one and not true to Battle Spirits format? Wow, this does not want to zoom in or focus on these cards. There we go. So there's the side-by-side comparison. And I will say, set 4, the upgraded artwork is absolutely fantastic. I'm still going to die on the hill of this white box needs to be removed, but later conversation for a later time, I guess, because it still is in the Evangelion set. So puts us in a rough spot, right? I want to be excited because set 4 selling out is obviously a good sign. And it means that stores to go back to this, stores can finally consider buying into Battle Spirits again if the boxes are not going to just completely tank under cost immediately, right? So as we've been seeing set after set, slowly but surely box value and box pricing has gone up for Battle Spirits, and that is something that we've talked about quite a bit that is absolutely necessary for the game to survive. If we go another year where boxes are tanked below cost, much like they are in Shadowverse and a bunch of other games I've talked about in my in tweets, and I don't think I've actually mentioned in a video now that I think about it, but in general, right, these box prices are not sustainable for stores. Stores are going to just continue to drop games like Grand Archive, like Shadowverse Evolve, like Battle Spirits, like some of the Bushy Road games. Like, it's very rough out here for stores if you have not been paying attention to the market for the last year. So much like Shadowverse, I've already mentioned that, like, if box prices stay where they are for the next year, and if they don't find a good recovery spot, then I fully expect Shadowverse Evolve to die within a year. I fully expect Grand Archive to die within a year because they're trying to push as much as they can to their higher end pricing without supporting stores in a good way. And instead, like what Grand Archive is doing is they're basically scalping or fleecing their own player base with those like supporter promos, right? So, hey, our stores aren't making us enough money. Let's now go, fleece our player base for $50, $60 promos with the allure of hitting something. And that's fine to a point, right? Like, you can obviously say they're making money. Wizards does this with the secret layers, but it's not something that is sustainable, in my opinion, long-term, right? Like, Magic has the ability to do this because you have a much larger player base, but something like Grand Archive, where their nationals are getting like 100 players, right? It's not as going to be sustainable. So this is a very long-winded way to say that the Japanese trading card game market, again, I don't want to focus too much on Grand Archive, even though that was just the example I just talked about, but the Japanese trading card game market in general is in a very bad spot. However, if you've also seen on the channel, I started covering Fusion World, the new Dragon Ball reboot, which has been doing very, very well, to say the least, both in metrics and locally. I was actually very surprised at how much interest there is. Also, Rixa, why couldn't you be like a 7 cost? Breaks my heart. This card deserved better. Fusion World's been going very well. The digital client, however, is a bit of a mess. The economy is not great. That's another topic that I'm going to cover in another video, but they have at least captured the essence of it's very easy to get into, and it has some gorgeous artwork with a familiar IP. And again, at the end of the day, that's kind of like just what a lot of people want. They want an IP that they are aware of, can easily jump into, and then are happy with. Ooh, there we go. There's another collaboration card. It's very easy to pick up and play. So for Fusion World, because they streamlined the gameplay, it doesn't have the counters anymore. It's color locked, so deck building is a lot easier. It's much more beginner-friendly, approachable. And so in that regard, I think they've actually done quite well with Fusion World, and I totally expect Fusion World to continue to do well. And also, I am going to the Fusion World Regionals. We got into both Canada and North Carolina somehow because they did sell out in a couple of minutes. However, that game is also best of one. It does have a top cut, at least for one of them, if I remember correctly. But again, we're finding ourselves in a spot where it's really hard to get out and go to some of these events. It is just going to be best of one. It starts at like 2 p.m. randomly, which is just awful for other reasons. Like, cool, I get to sleep in at least, I guess. But I don't know. It's hard. So this whole year for Bandai, and some stuff's not public yet, so I can only comment on the public side of it, of course. And because thankfully I know stuff that's not Bandai related, but things I know because of Force of Will contacts, that probably narrows that down really fast. There's actually new TOs who are being added to like the Bandai family. So what that means is more regionals will get out there. So there will be more accessible regionals for players to be announced later this year, or they might be extended into next year, depending on how, ooh, there's another one. Love me some Detective Penton, though. Actually, this is the second one of this I think I've opened, so that will be awesome for the yellow deck. But we have these regionals, but if they're all going to be best of one, if there's going to be no top cut and stuff like that, is it really worth adding more regionals but limiting them to the one day part, right? Like, I'm not sure that's the best way to go about it. Oops, let me put my Evangelion stuff over here. So I'm curious to see, again, there's already one new TO that's been confirmed and that's public. I think One Piece got that event first. There will be some other ones later on that, when they're announced, they'll be announced sort of thing. But I'll be curious to see, hopefully we will get more best of 3 events for Battle Spirits that also has a top 8. Or again, kind of like I mentioned at the beginning, it's going to be really hard for me to support it. And by supporting, I mean go to regionals. I guess I should have clarified that up front. I absolutely love this game. I love playing this game. I love playing the, more casual, fun focused and all-in competitive decks. I think this is still my favorite card game that I played in the last 10 years. And I truly, like, every time I sit down to play this game, I just have so much fun with it. And I love getting to build decks and seeing some of the fun builds that you can do, especially like the new Reanimate deck that finally came together, right? So there are still a lot of fun things that you can do in this game that I personally like. So, for me personally, does this mean I just strictly focus on like versus videos and covering meta reports for when events happen? That might just be the case. If I'm not going to regionals, I'm hopefully still going to be playing things like Fusion World, or again, for those that have been following for any amount of time, that I'm very excited for Union Arena, and I'm really curious. Hey, there we go. The sold out Hydra. I'm very excited for Union Arena, but again, that's something that lends itself better to, it is easy to jump in for new players and you just pick your favorite IP. So I'm really excited to cover it on the channel. I think it's going to be very fun to open because all the alt arts that I've been posting for them are absolutely gorgeous. The cards look great. Even if some of them are screenshot based, but like the higher end SRs and alt arts are all custom. The new Haiku stuff looks just absolutely amazing. So again, I am very excited to cover it, and hopefully we will see some more updates on that very soon. Again, unfortunately, that's the one thing, I have no idea when more announcements are coming. Obviously, they're waiting for Fusion World to like get out there and get ramped up and all that good stuff, but we'll have to, skipped one. We'll have to wait and see. But with that, again, the issue with Union Arena is that you do just build like your one IP, and then you kind of like forget the game exists because you have your one complete deck, and then you probably don't care to buy another IP for like a year in a lot of cases, right? So we are a bit limited in that regard, that, interest is going to be up or down based on what sets get launched. Like, I think the One Punch Man is a huge win, obviously, for simultaneous release with Japan. I think obviously like JJK and Code Geass and all that stuff is going to be big, but like they just announced Kamen Rider in Japan, which was really exciting. But is that something that we're going to get in North America? Who knows? And if we do, what does that actually look like? Now, I've been hearing that it is very popular from like the shows that have come over west more recently, but ooh, I haven't actually seen one of these in person yet. That's actually really cool. We haven't seen how the impact of how those shows have done yet in terms of like no card games, or like I haven't seen a lot of interest in Kamen Rider, just from like my own social medias, but it could be something that's just a splash set and people are excited about. So this is actually a really fun custom SPR that they did. You can see the unique flavor text here at the bottom, and you might notice that it is a recorder. So there's the, I don't think I actually opened it in this box, but there is a 3-drop in white that is a, 4-drop. There he is. Cool. I did actually open one so I can show this off. We have this guy, Snapper. So Snapper actually went on a journey across all the realms and took a photo and reported back on what was going on in each realm, right? So that's where you can see it here at the bottom, and that's where you can see this like really cool lens effect that's on this card. So I love these SPRs. I think this is super neat. And again, really huge shout out for Bandai and like the top end stuff that they're doing. They're always trying something new. They're trying to make it special to open, and I think this is really great. Again, what I would like to see, oh wow, that gem really pops out now that I threw it down there. I wonder if that comes out in the camera. Like his forehead, yep, that is really shiny. Now what I hope they do is, unfortunately, for example, in the Evangelion set, they have those white text boxes. Like, please just remove the white text boxes, or even in like the XRs, right? Remove this background. Let us see the full art like it is in Japan Battle Spirits, right? we need to have better artwork in this game so that it's more attractive for the average card game player. Because again, at the end of the day, there's a lot of great artwork out there for other trading cards or upcoming, oh, that stack just fell, or upcoming trading card games. And these just fall flat, like just to call it like it is. A lot of these are just not as good. There we go. Another Evangelion card. Finally, I am loving that I'm getting all my blue cards for Evangelion because I actually do want to build that entire deck with Evangelion cards. Obviously the Hydra might be a little bit difficult because that card's going like $200 or something insane. So we'll see. But yeah, we need better art. Stop reusing the same art from 20 years ago, or I guess like 15 years ago for Battle Spirits. Obviously all the XRs and higher have been getting unique art, which is really great. But again, you can clearly tell as we've been going through some of this, even a lot of it has felt a bit more dated. And this one too, like you lose so much of like what she's working on in the background as well as like the rest of her outfit. So hopefully we get to see that removed at some point in future cards. So again, it's hard because set 5 is technically the first set where they're going to have like true community feedback and change some stuff up. But by the time set 5 rolls around, if we don't see those changes in the game, I might just stop covering Battle Spirits on the channel completely. Now, again, that is September. So there's a lot of time to go between now and then. But again, I will continue to buy and support this game personally because it is my favorite card game that I played in the last 10 years. So even if I'm not putting it on the channel, I will be collecting it because, again, I think it is just super fun. Hopefully, if there's like a nearby regional. So I guess before all this started, I guess I can think back to like my Bushiroad time, right? So I played Vanguard, I played Weiss, obviously did a lot of stuff for Dragoborn, but even when I was like super in the weeds with those games, I only went to the Chicago Regional. I didn't go super far out of my way to go to some of the other regionals for variety of reasons, right? Just didn't think it was worth it, things of that nature. Ooh, another one. Dreco Beast. Oh, this is the Ancient Dragon support. Wow, that's a big rifle though. Love that. Just because it wasn't worth it. Long story short, that's ultimately what always determines it, right? So, but I always had a lot of fun seeing people at the Chicago regionals. And then, of course, when I went to Dragoborn Nats, it was really cool to play in the California regional and just see how much bigger Japanese trading card games are on the West Coast. Like, I know, shocker, compared to Michigan, but it was a really eye-opening experience to be like, oh, this is what a popular card game region is supposed to be like. So, ooh, and Ira. Well, look at this. This was these guys are out of stock box. So I'll be very happy to take one of each of those. So for Battle Spirits, or for, I guess I should say Bandai games in general, because especially with Fusion World, if I continue with Fusion World past like set 3, I will probably just change it to where it's like, hey, I will just go play in my more local regionals, like, right, you know, anything within a 6-hour radius, more or less. Or if something's in Atlanta, because DTW to Atlanta is like a major connection, a major hub, like, those flights are basically free. Like, I'll always go to an Atlanta event. Oops, that's a rare, right? Yep. Always go to an Atlanta event because, again, super free. But, oh, wow, that was already the last pack. And then we're going to go over some of these hits. So maybe last pack magic, maybe not. But, again, I think overall these have been very great to open. All the Evangelion stuff is super hype. And I would love to have my other 10 boxes already so I can actually build decks and make versus videos, but we are a little bit limited. So please look forward to future versus videos in like 2 weeks from now for when I get my case and all that good stuff. But again, with Fusion World and all this other stuff that's out right now. Last pack. Oh, we got another Squallow. Love that. So I actually have a playset of the Eva Squallows now. So I think I lost one in there. Was it this one? Okay, yep. So really quick for those that to recap, we did get 5 XRs, or it should be 5 XRs. We did get a number of Eva alt arts, which will hopefully come into focus. Just to go over all these again. Oh, that's a token. I'm trying to get these all in frame. We have the Detective Penton. We have the Battery Bull, which is, again, really important for the white XR. And then Spade Beast Leo, which is the yellow Ascend with the double damage that I can pull off. But what I was super excited about, and of course, is never in the box opening that you record. So that was all the XRs. We don't need to go back over those. People seen XRs all the time. These are all of my other Eva cards. Sorry, I'm like trying to now straighten up my own desk. Oh, where did I just put it? Uh-oh. I lost it on my desk of... Oh, no, there it is. Okay. So, in our first box, I was very excited because, as you know, I love to play blue in card games. I'm playing Goku Black in Fusion World right now, and we got the Hydra in the first box, which I love this artwork. I think it just looks so good. But then we did even one better. And we got probably the rarest and most sought after card in this set is the alt art Hydra featuring 13 in the artwork. And unfortunately, this camera's not going to pick up all the insane texturing, but in the background, like, this is by far the best foiling that they've done so far for a card. And I am super bummed that I'm not going to get three more. Oh, you can kind of see it there. 3 more of these, because these are easily going to be like $200 or higher once people try to get their hands on them and know how rare that they ultimately are. Like, more rare than the Saga rares when you think about it. So yeah, I am very excited. These are the 2 cards that I wanted, because I do have a binder that I just keep like one-ofs of my favorite cards. So we were able to get both of those. And of course, we prayed to our husband Mandala's abs in the background, so it all worked out. So again, lots of rambling in that video. I at least wanted to do unboxing so I could just do get a video out there again for Battle Spirits. But again, Alliance, you guys suck. That's all I can say. The distribution issues is really unforgivable. I don't have any dash packs. I'm still bummed about it. Texas, I know that we're not going to have a top cut, even though it's going to be like 30 players who are showing up, because it's like $700 to go to the event. So I'm personally not making it, but I really, really, really want to go to a Battle Spirits regional sometime soon. And then, of course, in May, we got the Fusion World stuff. So I am going to be trying to prepare for that and hopefully do well in it, because top 16 gets a serialized Goku, and that's like $4,000 minimum. So lots of interesting stuff coming out. So for Fusion World, it is just going to be focusing on the digital client. I still have to do a video on why the digital client is not great. It kind of is what it is. And then also a Star Wars releasing, right? I am helping out my LGS for that. So I've just been super busy. There's so many good games that are out right now to play that I've been having a lot of fun with. But then I also volunteer my time at my LGS. So for me personally, really going to stay focused on Battle Spirits for the near future. Try to get some versus videos out there with the main deck master guys and some other people, just in general, whoever wants to come out and jam some versus videos. And then, of course, with Fusion World being now like my second game, I'm going to try to do more on the digital side for that, as well as just kind of wait and see for Union Arena. But again, no news on that until October. So for me, it's a summer of Bandai games, and I hope to see you all at some future regionals. But until then, my friends, stay safe, stay hydrated, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.